welcome back to Charmed Rewind!
No!
2025 is off to an awful start! Well, we looked at a really infamous one today.
Mm-hmm.
As far as Charmed episodes go, a lot of people are like, this is a stinkeroo! Even people who like Charmed are like, what the fuck?
Well, it certainly was that.
So I should point out on the Patreon poll, it was actually a tie. So we're going to do the other episode that won the poll next time that we do the podcast. But this time we did Season 5, Episode 21, Necromancing the Stone.
I slept with a zombie.
Featuring Grandma Ghost's haterade.
Yeah, she's in full force in this episode.
This is, I think, the most sexist she's ever been, besides that one line in a different episode about how men are like utensils, like you use them, wash them, stick them in a drawer. Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew. She condensed all of her hatred from this episode into that one line in that other episode.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell she really learned some things from this.
Oh, yeah. She'll never be like this again.
It also, like, it contradicts things from other episodes. I think that's why people who are Charmed fans are annoyed by it, because, like, they're like, oh, Grandma Ghost, she stopped believing in love and men when her husband died. Just kidding. It was when this necromancer used her while she was cheating with him on that stupid husband.
Yeah. Like, wonderful.
Because apparently the whole inciting incident, it happened during their mother's wiccaning.
Okay.
And so that would have been when her husband was still alive, the one at the time.
Cool, Grams.
Whichever husband that was. I don't know, she had 4 of them, apparently.
Yeah, she boiled them, mashed them, stuck them in a stew.
We don't know what happened to those other ones.
Oh, we know. Yeah. I love at one point this episode can pretend she's good and it just plays like music when
she causes all of her problems. She's the villain of this episode, arguably the villain of the series, next to the Charmed ones. She made them what they are today. Yeah. She was their Emperor Palpatine. But yeah, so this is during Season 5. I don't think any real big plot points are happening. They only have Wyatt. Chris isn't around yet. They're planning a wiccaning. Oh, and the stuff with Sugar Daddy Jason is going on in Phoebe's life, the newspaper guy.
Phoebe's being annoying as usual.
Yeah, that's not new.
No.
Anyway, so we open on Paige and Norman Reedus in bed.
Yeah, star of that Silent Hill game that never happened.
Yeah, he's the second. This is the second and last episode that he was in. We did review the other one that he guest starred in. Yeah,
I might have brought up PT in that one too. I don't remember.
He's doing great stuff in this episode. He's Cheaty McAsshole.
Yeah, why is this a recurring character for this payoff? What a stupid waste.
I don't know if it was just they were like, we only have him for a couple episodes, how do we write him out? Or if they thought of a longer thing and then he had another project to get to, or I don't know what Charm's ever thinking.
They always waste when they have like decent actors in there, like Chris Sarandon too in this.
Oh yeah, Chris Sarandon at least gets to chew the scenery a bit. Norman Reedus gets basically nothing.
A great use of him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's ever a good use of anyone on Charmed.
No.
So anyway, they're in bed. They've just had the sex. Paige gets a call, and it's Piper, and she's like, hey, I know how to take out these creepers. We gotta get rid of these creepers and all these other creatures, because we're having the wiccaning. We gotta get rid of all these things. They're gonna attack the wiccaning. They're apparently they're like, we're gonna kill every demon in the world, and they won't come out. Like, why do they think these particular ones? They seem to act like they've vanquished every demon in existence.
Yeah. Well, just get rid of this one, apparently, and then it's fine. It's so stupid.
It turns out like nothing was after them. Get over yourselves.
It's like a cat when you walk towards them and they run away. It's always about me.
It's not about you. Don't flatter yourself. Although they did say at one point, one of the goons says like that Wyatt was the talk of the demon underworld.
The talk.
The talk of the town.
It's the toast of the underworld.
So anyway, Paige answers the phone. She's like, now's not a good time. I'm not coming. I got sex going on. I'm not coming. And Piper's like, oh, we gotta get rid of all the demons. Get over here. So she's like, all right. So the wiccaning, I should explain. I don't know if we talked about this in any other episode because they had Chris's wiccaning, but this is like a thing where they summon all of their ancestors, the matriarchs of the Halliwell line, and they bless the child to protect them from evil and bless them with good or whatever. Considering like what happens later, it doesn't seem like it did shit for Wyatt.
Yeah.
Evil Nickelback boy.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how many times you try to bless him.
Yeah.
It always goes wrong.
But I guess Piper realized that. I think that was part of the plot of the Chris wiccaning. She's like, didn't really fucking matter with the other one.
I give up on Chris. We know he's going to turn out anyways. He's going to be a time-traveling little turd.
Someone in the comments was like, yeah, Chris may not be a very good character, but he's the only like hot twink they have on the show. So anyway.
Leo sheds a single tear.
Yes, I was a twink once. Then I became the dad and I had dad
Rainbow
energy.
Bright cast me out.
So anyway, Paige was bitched at enough. She's like, all right, fine.
Well,
So-
I love too. Paige has multiple layers of sheets. She has a sheet stuck to her, and she takes it off and has another sheet stuck to her.
Yeah, she's got the sheets of modesty that they have in TV where she's naked, but for some reason holds a
it's
sheet
stuck
over
to her.
herself.
Yeah.
And then she pulls a sheet down and another sheet's underneath so she can walk to the bathroom with a sheet around herself.
Yeah, she walks to the bathroom with a sheet around her, and then appears to Piper just wearing a shirt. So it's like, oh, she needed more modesty with the guy she just slept with. But she's like, oh, my sister. Well, I can just appear with no pants on in front of her.
It was like a scene out of Naked Gun where she like takes the sheet off and another one's underneath.
Just waiting for another sheet. It would have been just kept happening.
So anyway, she goes to the bathroom and she orbs over to the attic. She's wearing one of Norman Reedus' shirts. She very quickly changed into that. They summon a creeper and then vanquish it super easy. But apparently Piper just needed her to summon it while she threw the potion. She could have done this by herself so easy.
These things aren't happening at the same time. And it's so lazy because they cut the spooky, death-looking thing shows up behind them for 2 seconds. Then Piper lazily tosses the potion in. It's like, wow, what a great day this was.
Yeah, they kind of did a creature design for that. They're like, well, back to just dudes in black. Gotta get rid of that.
So boring, Sharon. You can't keep doing it. They do keep doing this, but it's terrible.
I think you'll find they can
keep doing this.
They got away with it.
They got away with it.
You never paid for their
show
crimes.
Sucks. It's terrible. It's so boring to have these things pop up and easily killed in 2 seconds.
Anyway. That's the only reason that Piper was being proactive, too, is just because it had to do with the wiccaning. Once again, they don't care about any innocence or anything. It's just their own shit.
Yeah.
So Paige is like, well, I'm done. Off to have more sex. Orbs away.
Thanks. I didn't really need you for this. Why couldn't I have got Phoebe? Well, as we see Phoebe when we cut to her,
real busy.
She's doing nothing.
She's looking at makeup, dreaming about lipstick. Well, anyway, Norman Reedus sees Paige coming out of the bathroom. She still smells like smoke because of the Vanquish. And he's like, you don't have to hide that you're smoking in there.
Like, it's that demon smelled like nicotine smoke.
Singed, he exploded and there was smoke, I guess.
It's a different smell of smoke.
Whatever.
Are you blowing up in there?
You did a comedy bomb in there? You went in the toilet and then she just lit a match to cover her stinky shits. So anyway, opening credits. We cut to Phoebe. She's looking at makeup. We didn't make that up. She's looking at makeup.
She really is.
She's trying to decide what lipstick she wants to wear. This is why Piper couldn't call her, I guess. She's like, hey, Wyatt, you got a penis. What kind of lipstick do you think my sugar daddy would like? And then Phoebe is like, Grandma Ghost is going to eat you up when she sees you. And that's a literal threat in this house.
She will unhinge her jaw.
Yeah. She was supposed to be dressing him up for Piper. Like, she's like, hey, you go do this. But instead, she dressed herself up. She got distracted.
Yeah.
She's supposed to do something.
I saw the baby there, but then I looked past him to the mirror and I was like, oh, Phoebe.
What a talented beauty. So anyway, Paige comes in and is like, hey, aren't you supposed to be doing something? And then Phoebe's like, no, my sugar daddy, Jason, he called me from his corporate jet, and he's coming back from Hong Kong for the day, and I'm going to meet him at the airport. What the fuck? Who the fuck cares about Phoebe's problems? Oh, my sugar daddy in his corporate jet. Like, oh, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, she's going on about this. Meanwhile, Wyatt's head's in the toilet.
Yeah. I don't know if this is before or after she cheated on him just because he was on a business trip in Hong Kong, and she's like, I'm bored, I'm gonna go cheat on him, and they act like it's fine, you can just casually cheat on him if he's on a business trip.
We just came back from a business trip, so she might have. And then Paige says, international booty call, most impressive. You cross it.
What?
Most impressive.
Cross it? No one's gonna know what you're talking about. And we'll never explain. No. So anyway, Paige is happy that the international booty call is going to happen, because then Phoebe, if she gets some, she's not going to be moping around the house anymore. She's sick of it. Everyone's horrible to each other in this episode.
Yeah.
No one's good at all. I think maybe Piper shockingly came off the most reasonable and nice in this one.
Yeah, she wasn't too bad for Piper.
I will say this, she looked real pretty in this episode. I feel like they usually wear weird outfits and, like, you know, but I thought she looked nice in this one.
She's trying to soften her image before she really goes evil.
Thought I'd give her a compliment. So anyway, Paige is like, well, I'm considering using a truth spell on Norman Reedus, because I think I'm going to tell him about being a witch, but I want to know how he feels about it. And Phoebe's like, no, you shouldn't. We've done this before.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
Phoebe's like, Prue did it.
What?
Phoebe's like, Prue did it.
Oh, Prue did it. Yeah. But considering what happened in that episode, the consequences didn't really... Nothing bad happened except the truth. So,
yeah.
Like, didn't feel like it was that bad.
No.
So Sugar Daddy chasing Phoebe is like, this seems a little early in the relationship. Start thinking about telling him you're a witch. Like, shut up, Phoebe.
Yeah.
It's a little early in the relationship. Should I go to Hong Kong and use private jets and marry my sugar daddy boyfriend?
I mean, the spell might be verging on personal gain, but it's not consistent ever. So
that's true.
Who cares?
They don't go into that.
No.
We don't have time to care about you.
So Paige is like, no, I think he'll accept me being a witch because he has a cool Celtic tattoo. You dummy.
Well, there you go. Case closed.
So Phoebe's like, no, don't do it. But then she gets distracted by the baby. And Paige is like, okay, I will do it. And then Phoebe doesn't care.
She's looking at herself in the mirror again. Phoebe. I'd fuck me.
Would you fuck me? Anyway, downstairs, Piper and Leo are lighting some candles to summon Grandma Ghost, star of the episode. She appears, the first thing she does is complain that they took so long. And then she becomes corporeal as an aside because it costs less money.
Yeah,
if she doesn't,
this is the point where it's become super easy to become corporeal. So you just walk out of the little candle circle and I'm corporeal again.
They don't even explain why.
Who cares?
She just walks out and then it's like, we don't want to do the effect.
Mm-hmm.
And then they do that, like...
She can do that somehow.
Remember when death meant something on this show? And now, like, she won't fucking go away.
Maybe she ate a fairy.
That's what. Yeah, why does the necromancer bother with this? You can just do bullshit for no reason. You don't even have to try and resurrect yourself. I mean, half the time they had that time travel 70s episode where they're like, oh, she got eaten by demons or whatever. And it's like, she's a fucking ghost. You can't kill her. She's a ghost.
Yeah.
They had a wolf eater. And, well, because she came to life in that one. I guess in that one, she just came to life for bullshit reasons. So
she died again in a stupid way.
Yeah, why does the necromancer think he's got anything to offer her if she can just come to life? Because, I don't know, Wyatt wishes it. I forget what happened. So she shows up, and then Leo's like, hey, and then Grandma Ghost just, like, brushes him off.
Yeah, well, she's like, spits acid in his face.
Don't dare speak to me.
So Paige and Phoebe, they come downstairs with Wyatt, and then Grandma Ghost is delighted to see him, and it's like, well, Wyatt's a weird name for a girl. And they're like, no, that little baby in a blue outfit named Wyatt's a boy.
Yeah.
Huh? And
she's like, from now on, I will spy on you constantly.
Yeah, well, not that constantly, because the next time they have a baby, she doesn't even know that, like, Piper was pregnant. I think just like a kid's there, and then she's like, what? They don't tell her anything.
Well, she vows to spy more often, at least.
Yeah, she was always spying. That's why before they actually had the actress back, she was turning the pages and shit. She was always hanging out in the house.
Can get rid of her.
Yeah, but Wyatt being a boy is the worst thing that could ever happen, because, as we will hear many times in this episode, Grandma Ghost hates men.
Hates them.
She hates them. She's got to boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew.
What did she say? Like, oh, it's been like 300 years and we've only had girls.
Yeah.
But I guess that's a contradiction because we've seen the Halliwell family tree with some guys on it. But who cares? Before they changed the dad's name, he was a Halliwell too. Yeah, he was a Halliwell. Who knows what she's talking about? She doesn't know. And they're like, hey, Grandma, that's a boy. And then she's like, what went wrong? And then she hands Wyatt over to Leo with disgust. Yeah, she's kind of like hovering over the trash can. Leo has to catch him. You'll make another one. So Grandma Ghost is like, all right, we got to do a lot of stuff for this wiccaning. Whatever, we'll get to this guy thing later. So we got to do all this wiccaning stuff. Your attempts to protect Wyatt have been bullshit. You're stupid. You're idiots. You even prepare for the necromancer. And they're like, what? Necromancer? But Phoebe is incurious as to who the fuck that is. She's like, I got to go to the booty call. I'm not even going to ask. Her and Paige are both like, oh, Grams came back from the dead again. Well, we got to go see our boyfriends. Yeah. They don't want to see their grandma who's come back to life or ask about this. She's like, hey, what about the necromancer? This could be a danger. They're like, oh, bye. Yeah. This would be rude even if she wasn't dead and just came over for a visit. And it's like, hi, bye. Bye. And then when they're like, we got to go see our boyfriends, she also hates them. Yeah. But, you know, I don't think Jason deserved it other than being a rich asshole. So he probably, you know, because he's rich, he probably has done some bad things. Sure. But like Norman Reedus kind of deserves it. Yeah, he's the more obvious asshole. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, they're bored with this, so they leave. Grandma Ghost says they'd be better off with a dog. They're more loyal and they die sooner. Just like my precious husband that I apparently loved. Yeah, he was a good man, as she says at the end of the episode. Yeah, I hated men because my husband died, but he was a good man, but also dogs. But also I cheated on him with a necromancer, but also it was his fault. I hate your dad because your mom cheated on him, and then I kept you away from him, and what the fuck's going on? So anyway, Leo's like... as I say, not as I do. Leo's like, hey, what's with the sexism? You were married 4 times. Don't you like guys? And she's like, yeah, I was married 4 times. I fucking hate guys. And she snaps his neck. He's like, I'm already dead too. Yeah, we're all dead here. So Piper's like, yeah, I kind of want to know about this necromancer. I'm the only one who's curious about this. And Grandma Ghost is like, well, that guy, he attacked during your mother's wiccaning, so we better make sure. He's probably going to attack during this one, so we got to get to work. Once they leave the room, Leo's holding Wyatt, and he says, now you know why we don't summon her more often. One of Leo's best moments. Yeah.
Cut to the necromancer. It's translucent Chris Sarandon.
He's just coming back too, so that's quite the coincidence that she's like, the necromancer will definitely show up, and just we cut to him being summoned back.
No, I don't think I think he's around because he's just wandering around translucent. He gets summoned later, but his goon's out getting him magical creature to suck the life out of. He wasn't going to be able
to do much, I guess, until he got this fairy in a bottle.
Well, the thing is, he wasn't after them. It's clear he wasn't after them in this episode. So none of this really, all of this is caused by Grandma Ghost.
I love a lot of things about this because we see this necromancer assistant. His name is Skreek.
It's a real Margoyle.
It's a real Margoyle energy.
Skreek?
Skreek.
Do they even say his name at any point?
I don't know. It's just his name is Skreek.
Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, he's like Screech. He's like Skreek.
Good old Skreek. He keeps summoning this necromancer for what, century? Like it's been like a century that he's been stuck like this.
So long. He has to go out like Link and catch a fairy in a bottle so he can revive this dumbass over and over.
Why does he keep bringing the necromancer back? What does he get out of this?
I don't know.
He's just getting creatures for him, and then he gets nothing in return except killed later.
Yeah. Yeah, he did not get the love back from the necromancer that he had for him.
Yeah. This whole episode's about, unrequited love, apparently.
So, he was not saved by the death.
Yeah. So, he's the necromancer. We find out later he does have a name, but they only ever call him the necromancer, except one time he's called Armand.
Yeah, it's so dumb. And we find out Grandma, she did like the Phoebe before Phoebe, where she jotted down personal notes about the necromancer in the Book of Shadows. Yeah. She didn't go quite as ridiculous. She didn't put any Sears portraits of him in there, but she still jotted down he likes, stupid me with mint jelly and shit.
Yeah, it was apparently 60 or 70 years ago that happened. Which doesn't make any sense to me because their mom wasn't 60 or 70, right? Maybe.
No. Their timeline is so screwy.
I guess she died when she was young, so she didn't have to be as old as that. But
their timeline didn't make sense. Like that one where they go back in time and see her young, and it's like she wouldn't be that young. But I was just gonna say she could have put his name in there, which she doesn't do.
Oh, I remember I was bringing up the 60 or 70 years ago because they didn't have Sears portraits then. That's why he wasn't in there. But yeah, she could have put the name in there and helped him out, but she didn't.
No, it's just he likes Clark Gable movies. We got him.
Got him.
Let's just put a Clark Gable movie on. He's going to pop in and we'll kill him.
Yeah, they distract. She's like, I put that in there to show how much he loves life because he watches Clark Gable movies.
We'll put that together. Oh, this guy must really love life.
I feel like something happened. She thought he was dangerous and sexy, and then a spoiler alert, they were fucking. So she thought that he was dangerous and sexy, but then he started watching Clark Gable movies, and she's bitter about how he's not that dangerous and sexy, and that's why she put it in the book.
Not who I thought you were.
Yeah.
I hate men.
Yeah, so the necromancer, he's in his lair with a bunch of candles and skeletons and stuff. His goon Skreek shows up. It was Skreek or Skleek?
Skreek. Skreek.
Anyway, Skreek shows up. He's got a fairy queen in a jar. And then the necromancer's like, oh, this sucks. You didn't even put holes in the jar. And he's like, no, I did it on purpose. And then the fairy instantly falls over and dies.
Yeah, you see the dumb little ghost of the fairy float out. The body disappears, which is weird.
I don't know.
But you just see the body die, and then it just turns into just a ghost of the fairy.
Yeah, and then the necromancer zaps her ghost into his finger with lightning, and that's how he becomes corporeal. But why was he you forgot to put holes in there? The whole point was to bring a dead creature so that he could get the soul or the spirit or whatever to make himself corporeal.
Real Humperdinck move. All he had to do was walk outside the
Yeah, why
candles.
didn't he do what Grandma Ghost did and become corporeal for no reason? He's making a lot more work for himself.
You really can't do that, though, in the same episode where you just show someone's like, oh, fuck it, I'm done being a ghost.
Yeah.
And then you cut to another person doing the same thing, but they need a fairy.
Yeah, and especially because this whole pitch to her later is like, we could both become corporeal and rule and come to life. And
Yeah,
it's like,
he's saying this while they're both corporeal.
Well, I guess it's like he wants to be resurrected, not just corporeal or whatever. But like,
What's it matter?
It doesn't matter.
There seems to be zero difference.
Because like he can't be killed as a ghost, so why would you want to be alive again? You could just do the same thing, but as a ghost.
It seems like it matters none in the Charmed universe.
When he becomes corporeal, he swats a cobweb and then seems surprised that he could touch it. But why?
I don't know. That was really weird. I thought that's going to come to something, but it doesn't.
It didn't. He was just like, well, anyway, I want to be resurrected. Let me tell my whole thing here.
Swat the cobwebs.
But he just has kind of general dreams of being resurrected. He doesn't have a plan here. Mm-hmm. He's not planning on going after the charmed ones. He's just like, wouldn't it be nice if someday I didn't have to kill creatures to be corporeal? I'd like to be resurrected. That's his entire deal right now. He's just minding his own business.
Then he shoves Skreek in a locker.
Yeah. So anyway, cut to Phoebe and Sugar Daddy Jason. She too is wearing a sheet of modesty.
How many times in this one episode? They all need to have bed sheets stuck to them.
So anyway, he's got to go back to Hong Kong for business stuff for 6 months. And he asks Phoebe to come along with him. And he does this by giving her a Chinese dictionary.
Yeah, he gives her that, you'd think that'd be a clue to her, but she goes, I wanted jewelry. Why did you give me this dictionary? He's like, because I wanted you to come with me, and I thought you could piece that very obvious clue together.
I see that you're very full of yourself. I think I'm actually gonna leave now.
You didn't ask Phoebe!
She's like, well, what about my job? And he's like, I'm your boss. Just come with me. And then she's like, well, what about my family? He's like, you can use my jet whenever you want.
Phoebe, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, my job. What do I do, boss?
What about my articles? And then, why is he running her stupid newspaper with love advice articles when he's doing Hong Kong business and shit? Yeah, but he's like, you can use my jet whenever you want. And I just wrote barf. And then Phoebe sighs. What problem she has? Should she take the private jet and go live in Hong Kong with her sugar daddy?
Oh, no. What should do?
Meanwhile, Norman Reedus... Paige comes into his club. He owns a club. She casts the truth spell on him, and he lightly slaps some sparkles on him, like,
he's like, oh, what's that bad effect?
Get out of here. She tells him everything about being a witch. He seems into it, but also, he has a wife and kids. Oops. He's an asshole.
Yeah, he's like, I'm into it. So will my wife be.
At the manor, Piper points out that Grandma Ghost vanquished the necromancer 60 years ago, but then she's like, no, I just banished him into the spirit realm because you can't kill a ghost. And then she says he's had 70 years to find a way out, which is a decade longer than was said 2 sentences ago.
Yeah, real great, Charmed.
But anyway, this is when we see the entry in the Book of Shadows with the necromancer. Grandma Ghost Phoebe'd it. Talks about his favorite movies, his favorite food. We see a close-up of the book, and it's got this nicely typed font that I think it's supposed to be like someone with really nice calligraphy wrote down, but it's clearly just typed. Mm-hmm. But then also she's written in there next to it all of these little facts.
Notes. Yeah.
Yeah, and also, it doesn't say what his real name is, just the necromancer. There's more than one necromancer. Yeah. We see the crypt keeper later, who's also a necromancer.
Yeah, why shouldn't this be a specific entry about this guy if he's important enough?
They just say the necromancer, and it's a picture of Chris Sarandon. It's like, well, there's other necromancers, so...
You always have to be like, well, I guess they all love Clark Gable movies.
Yeah, what if they found the Crypt Keeper and they're like, throw a Clark Gable movie at him?
My weakness!
So Piper rightfully makes fun of Grandma Ghost for doing this.
Like, way to be a real Phoebe.
Grandma Ghost is like, no, he's going to attack during the Wiccaning because he wants to resurrect himself. There's the spirits of all the Halliwell matriarchs there. He tried to do that before, so we got to get rid of him now. I know a potion that we can use to banish him back to the spirit realm. Apparently, there's a potion in the book that other ghosts can use on ghosts to kill ghosts, but she doesn't know about that. She's just like, I'm just going to banish him perpetually to the spirit realm and just keep doing this forever.
An odd loophole, but whatever. And it's like half the things are like, this needs a power 3 spell. It's like, oh, and then this one needs a ghost. All right.
Whatever.
Seems oddly specific, but sure.
They start to make this potion, and then Grandma Ghost gets to criticizing Piper for having a kid with a penis. She's like, 300 years, no Halliwell's ever had a boy. Ignore that family tree. Never had a boy. Never had a boy.
Never had a boy.
I've never had a boy.
And then she threw him on the ground.
She starts to say that men are evil, but Paige comes in and finishes it for her. Like, yeah, they're evil.
That's the whole reason for this subplot with her, I guess, to get her on Graham's side.
I guess. I don't know.
It seems pointless.
I guess the leading thing in this episode, maybe men are evil.
Yeah.
The necromancer, Norman Reedus, they ain't making a good case.
She dated one guy who sucks. I guess they're all evil.
So Paige tells them about Norman Reedus being a cheating philanderer, and then Grandma Ghost acts smug, like, told you so. So she uses this opportunity to suggest that Paige maybe takes out her anger on the necromancer.
Why
don't you do my thing for me?
Yeah, like, you're so mad at him. Why don't you take care of my problem?
You bitch. But it works. Paige is dumb. She's like, all right. So, there's a shot of the Book of Shadows and the picture of the necromancer in it. And then they fade to him in kind of the same pose, but laying down with like his hands in his pockets.
Stupid.
He's just chilling in his crypt. He's minding his own business. And then the evil Halliwells minus Phoebe show up. They're like, dun, dun, dun. And then they like reveal it like the villains come to kill the hero.
Yeah.
He's like, what's going on? He sees her and then he's like, Penny. Like he's excited to see her.
Yeah.
She's like, vanquish him! Vanquish him!
He doesn't do a single evil thing in this episode, really.
Well, he wants to kill their matriarchs, but maybe they're all evil like the rest of the Halliwells.
Yeah, they're all evil. He mostly just wants to get back together with Penny.
Yeah, mostly he's just kind of love-struck. He loved the wrong woman. That's his only crime.
Yeah. Really the tragedy on his side, not hers.
So yeah, he wasn't planning on attacking them. They just show up out of nowhere to kill him. He's like, huh? And then like they're like, wait a minute, why is he being so familiar? And then Grandma Ghost is like, she flings him back like, ah! Like she's fucking like Emperor Palpatine. Vanquish him! So they're like, oh, all right. They throw this potion. Even though she says vanquish him, they don't vanquish him. They just banish him. And they make this distinction later because he's just sent to the spirit world or whatever.
Yeah, they didn't do anything besides make Screek go out and find another fairy off screen, I guess.
Yeah, he explodes and then Grandma Ghost smiles evilly. We have a shot of her like...
It's so evil.
So they're back at the house. Paige and Piper tell Phoebe how weird it seemed that the necromancer was like kind of friendly with Grandma Ghost. And then Phoebe responds by speaking Chinese to them and focusing on her own thing. She don't care.
How unlike Phoebe.
Paige is like, well, we didn't actually vanquish the necromancer. We only, she says, I quote, we sent his sorry male ass back to the spirit realm.
So all we did was annoy him.
Yeah, they accomplished nothing. All they did was make him mad at them and then focus on them because he was just minding his own business.
Didn't have a single thought about them.
And so Piper's like, no, let's not jump on Grandma Ghost's male-bashing bandwagon. Being sexist matters suddenly when she's being mean to her son. She can be sexist to everyone else, but don't make fun of Wyatt. That's her job.
Half-breed.
Half-breed. Yeah, so Piper is, she's focusing on the wiccaning stuff. Phoebe's still focusing on speaking Chinese. And finally Paige is like, hey, what's up with that? And so Phoebe is like, yeah, he gave this to me, but she doesn't say what's going on yet. They get into that later. And then Paige is like, don't worry about Jason. He's probably a cheater anyway. And Phoebe's like,
Phoebe's like, I'm the cheater, you idiot.
Yeah. And then Phoebe's like, well, maybe he's perfect for me, which is why she cheated on him while he was on a business trip.
You think Paige would think something about that, but nah.
No.
Oh my goodness!
And then this is when Leo comes in. He's carrying Wyatt, and he's like, hey, Daryl's on the phone for you, Paige. He seems pretty pissed about something involving your boyfriend.
The way Daryl gets involved in this plot is insane.
I did like Daryl's few scenes, though.
Yeah. But he's being ridiculously understanding about Paige misusing her friendship with him.
Oh, yeah, they're totally being dicks to Daryl. Paige specifically.
Yeah.
Like, this is more mistreatment.
Yeah, this is
Daryl.
like a really bad Paige episode.
No one's nice to any guys in this episode, basically.
This is almost on the level of we're gonna kill you so that we can make you do our bidding as a ghost.
Yeah, basically. So Piper, she demands to know why Leo is spending time with Wyatt and Grandma Ghost isn't. And he's like, well, she didn't want to.
Ew! That's spending time with that little penis hammer!
And then Piper's like, and she's probably resting. She said she was going to rest when we got back. Does a ghost need to rest? We see that they can be unconscious later in the episode, so what the hell?
Really took it out of her walking past those candles.
Yeah, she didn't do anything. She flung him back and then said,
Didn't
you do
I?
it. You do it, Grandma, asshole. So meanwhile, the necromancer's goon immediately just brings him back. Skreek immediately brings him back.
It's alright, because he's saved by the Skreek.
The necromancer doesn't even seem that mad, though. He's like, hey, was that Grandma Ghost? I love her. She stole my heart.
Yeah. Like, oh, if she came here to do this to me, she still got passion for me.
She's like, basically like, no means yes. She's got the hots for me. Yeah. They must have been real.
Even Skreek's kind of like, I don't know about that.
She gets a truth spell on her later and says she loves him, so maybe they were just real freaky together.
Yeah.
There was some love-hate going on. He put on the Clark Gable stuff, and then she put on the BDSM gear. So anyway, he's like, well, why did she show up anyway? And then Skreek is like, oh, you didn't hear? It was the talk of the town, the new baby. That's probably, thought you were going to go over for the wiccaning. So he literally knew nothing about this beforehand.
Yeah. He was never going to show up at this wiccaning.
Grandma Ghost, you're an idiot.
Well, what do you know? It's not every day you see the stupidest thing you've ever seen.
So at the manor, Piper confronts Grandma Ghost about being a piece of shit lately.
Way to go, Piper.
Yeah. Piper is the reasonable one.
Yeah.
Grandma Ghost is like,
Yeah, maybe if I'd been around longer, you wouldn't have had a girl. Something went wrong. Ah!
she's like, the Hollywell line's always been led by women. It's tradition. We can't have this stupid boy here. And then she points out the weird continuity error with the episode Morality Bites when she had a girl in the future. And it's like, what's up with that? You didn't have the baby you were supposed to have. And then Piper's like, well, Prue was alive in that future, so things changed, bitch. Get over it. And Grandma Ghost is like, I can't get over having a penis haver in the family. This is really tense and emotional.
I don't think I can love you anymore, Piper.
Can't love you if you're able to have spawn that have dicks. So, meanwhile, Paige, she's at the jail. She's at jail.
She's at jail.
And Daryl's there. He's mad because she just placed Normus Reedus. She placed Normus Reedus in the jail. Enormous Reedus in the jail. And, just to get revenge on him, she put him in the jail. And then Daryl's like, you can't just orb in here and think that's gonna fly.
Yeah. She must have just orbed him into jail, too. It's like, what? Why is any of this okay?
Well, that's what she did. She orbed him into jail. Yeah. And he's like, I'm gonna get in big trouble. And none of this is my problem. He says this is not my problem. And Paige is like, oh, yeah? Well, if he tells everyone about me being a witch, they're gonna find out about you helping these witches out. But, like, he wouldn't know about that except for the fact you put him in the jail.
Yeah. You involved him, and you're saying, like, it's your problem because you're our friend who helps us. So that's on you, buddy.
She's basically like a gangster blackmailing him over this shit.
This shows you for helping us, Daryl.
What an asshole.
Like, fuck you, Paige.
And, like, what is he supposed... She's like, oh, just tell everyone that he's insane if they ask about this guy. You can't just willy-nilly put someone in jail for being insane.
Yeah, they need to go get mental help, maybe.
Like, he's not, like, he has to cover up for them more and come up with false charges or something.
It's ridiculous. He's not even in a cell alone. There's a cellmate in there. He's hearing some of this.
Yeah, and it doesn't even make any sense later after she does all this shit to Daryl that he's, like, defending her later to, like, Norman Reedus. It's like, why?
Yeah, no wonder Daryl got tired of them later.
He did nothing but favors for them, and they were jerks. But here's something less infuriating. Piper and Grandma Ghost are bitching at each other. Grandma Ghost is like, I don't even want to bless you, stupid kid. Men are evil and weak, and they can't be trusted with magic. And Phoebe wanders in with vague interest, like, what's going on here?
Shoot her as she walks in.
And then she says something in Chinese, like, I learned death in Chinese.
It was like a bit earlier on when she's in bed with Jason, but it's just like they cut to her stupid face in the window and just immediately made me mad.
Sighing wistfully at her reflection.
Yeah.
So yeah, Grandma Ghost is like, men suck. Look at Cole and your dad. They sucked. Both of these examples are bad. Cole was under a magical influence, and then they banished him and treated him like shit.
Yeah, and Phoebe was the evil one in that
Phoebe
scenario.
was the evil one. Their dad was cheated on by their mom, and then the Grandma Ghost was like, I'm keeping you away from your dad, and he did nothing wrong.
Uh-huh.
What did either of those men do? Besides have the misfortune of knowing these people.
The terror of the Halliwells.
And then Piper, this was pretty satisfying. She's like,
Well, you can't bless my son with goodness anyway because you're consumed by your bitterness.
Wiccaning's off. And then right afterwards, Skreek shows up behind her, blasts her ass into a wall.
Amazing. You know how dangerous that is in Charm, too. I'm surprised Piper lived.
Right, yeah. Prue's ghost is sitting there like, come on!
Yeah. Piper can take a wall.
Yeah, well, your head's made out of paper mache. So anyway, they play some horror music as Grandma Ghost gets ready for payback. But then she's nabbed by the necromancer. Don't worry about Skreek. He's vanquished easily. He just blows up. That's the end of Skreek.
Sucks. So bad. Charm, you suck. You suck. What if we have this character and he just gets blown up partway through? It's like, why don't you do something sort of interesting instead of just, we blow them up easily?
They did the necromancer, basically. Anyway,
yeah, they do it every single time. They did it to that random thing at the beginning, too.
They go, fiddle-dee-dee, blow up away from me. That's all they ever do. Anyway, later that night, Piper points out that all this happened because of Grandma Ghost going after him. Like, hey, you wouldn't have come after us.
Yeah.
Grandma Ghost hadn't been an idiot. So it's suggested that they summon her back. And then Leo's like, no. The necromancer's just going to follow her and we don't know how to stop him. But they made a potion that stopped him easily earlier.
Yeah.
And they summoned him anyway.
Now he doesn't have Skreek to bring him back with a fairy.
Yeah, like maybe they don't know that that's how he kept coming back. It turns out it's just one dummy kept bringing him.
How long was he supposed to have been doing this? Like ever since he died the first time after?
Apparently it was like 70 or 60 years.
Yeah. However, whatever the timeline is.
Timeline was. Apparently, I don't know, Skreek's been his wingman this whole time.
Yeah.
But yeah, they made a potion that stopped him easily earlier, so it doesn't really seem like that matters too much. Just make that same potion again. And in the end, their plan is just to summon her again. But they find that spell that ghosts can use to kill other ghosts. So, you know what? Why were they even like acting like their mom or their grandma or anyone was just dead and gone forever if there's spells for ghosts to cast on other ghosts? Like, apparently the dead can just show up willy-nilly all the time.
Yeah, for all his ghost will show up and he's like, forgot. Well, there's no way you can come back and be corporeal, if I walk past these candles. Oh, man, he did it somehow.
Oh no, fairy tales. He's alive again. Oh, the wolf ate him. So anyway, Paige is like, hey, what if I orb his testicles somewhere? Will that do anything? His ghost testicles? What the fuck?
His ghost testicles.
I'd call this episode Ghost Testicles if it wouldn't get demonetized. So anyway, Phoebe looks at the page of the Book of Shadows that Grandma Ghost made, and she recognizes her own work. She's like,
Grandma Ghost was fucking the necromancer.
And then Paige is like, that's disgusting.
I love Phoebe recognizes her own stupidity.
Stupidity recognized stupidity.
Yeah.
You know? Paige says it's disgusting. Next scene, the necromancer has Grandma Ghost unconscious on a slab. Sure, why not? He wakes her up and he taunts her. He can kind of control her because he's a necromancer. And he's like, you still love me, neener, neener, neener. She's like, well, you used me to get to my family. And he's like, yeah, I did it first, but I didn't expect to fall in love with you. Why wouldn't he fall in love with Grandma Ghost? She has such endearing qualities about her.
Right? Everyone who meets her falls in love with her.
Is that the most suspension of disbelief that they ask us to have, that someone would fall in love with Grandma Ghost?
Maybe the whole Ask Phoebe thing that anyone reads the stupid column.
I do have to point out, because they're talking about how, like, they were in love up until, I guess, the wiccaning thing with their mom, and that's when he attacked. So that definitely confirms that in the timeline she was cheating on their mom's dad. Mm-hmm. So
yeah.
Anyway, this is where we find out his name is Armand. And he's like, hey, I got a plan. We're going to use the spirits from your family to bring us both back to life. We're going to get real freaky with it. And Grandma Ghost just shows up whenever and does everything a living person does anyway. So, like, who cares?
Yep.
And then they make out. So at the house, the girls get ready to summon Grandma Ghost. This is when the doorbell rings, and it's Jason.
It's Jason.
Phoebe. Oh! I wish he'd killed her. Phoebe's like, hey, real quick, he offered for me to go live with him in Hong Kong for 6 months. I think we're going to do it. Bye. And so she leaves. And then Leo's like, hey, Jason, what's going on? And he opens the door. This is not really a good time. And then Phoebe's like, no. Dismisses Leo.
Yeah.
Get out of the scene.
You may leave now, Leo.
Yeah.
My butler.
My butler. You carry the baby over here. You're a babysitter and nothing more. So, Jason is like, hey, listen, I shouldn't have asked you last minute to live with me for 6 months in Hong Kong. This was a really big ask. Don't worry about it. And she's like, no, I'd love to abandon my family. I don't end up like my bitch grandma. There was no dilemma for her at all. She's like, no, let's go.
This makes some sense for Phoebe, and then she makes no sense later.
I don't know.
She might as well go get away.
She does later. Yeah. She definitely does. I remember, because they have to keep orbing in and out or whatever, and that's stupid. Anyway, so she goes back upstairs to get back to the necromancer plot. They summon Grandma Ghosts, and she's under the necromancer's control. He follows suit. The girls cast the truth spell on Grandma Ghost. She admits that she loves the
truth
necromancer.
Will set her free.
It'll set her free.
Is she gonna just miss a part of her memory, though, after this? Like, once the truth thing wears off?
Yeah, that's true. The truth spell, they lose the memory of everything that happened when the truth spell was on.
So, like, I don't know when it ended. She's just going to suddenly be like, hey, where's that necromancer?
It's supposed to be like 24 hours. So she's going to be like, what's going on?
She's not going to remember the wiccaning or anything.
They roofied the wiccaning out of her mind.
She's not going to remember the lesson she learned. Maybe that explains everything.
That's why she's such a bitch later for the rest of the series.
They forgot to remind her, hey, you stop being a bitch.
Yeah, she did have a kind of
right, that doesn't sound like me.
She forgot her kind of sincere apology. It all makes sense.
Charmed ones, you idiots.
She's like, yeah, I do love you, but you got a dick. Vanquished. So,
wonderful again.
So apparently the necromancer betraying her made her give up on love, but they said in that 70s time travel episode that her husband dying made her give up on love. So what's the truth, Charmed?
She gives up on love every time. Like a drop of a dime, she'll give up on love.
She never knew what love is.
I lost on this lotto ticket. I give up on love.
I give up on love. Men did this. Grandma Ghost realizes she can be a little sexist, but not that sexist. She's like, all right, the wiccaning's back on. So
I can't wait to remember this forever.
Meanwhile, Paige bitches at Enormous Reedus.
Enormous Reedus.
He forgets everything, and then Daryl laughs at him.
Why did Daryl let her come back in for like a little taunt session with the guy who's going to not remember it in 2 seconds? Yeah. She should be staying far away from this at all times.
Daryl laughs at him and then goes like, "You're going to leave her alone, and you're going to be a good guy, and this is a threat." And it's like, why? What's the point?
So the stupid thing is too, like she waits until the truth thing wears off, so he still sees her there while he's in jail for no reasons. Like she should not have been there when he got his memory back.
Why didn't she orb him back to his place?
Yeah, they didn't have to go through any of this. And then possibly risk anything with Daryl.
Yeah.
She could have done that easily.
Dumb. So, Phoebe, she goes over to Sugar Daddy Jason, who's waiting by his plane to go to Hong Kong. And she's like, actually, now that my grandma's nice, I gave up on love, but I didn't give up on love, but I'm not going to Hong Kong.
She heard her Gram say, never give up on love. And she goes, oh, yeah? Well, I am going to give up on love then.
This.
Screw you, Grams. Like, that's the only thing that makes any sense. She why was this the takeaway from that? Like, never give up on love. Oh, yeah?
No, this should have been the opposite. And I know she goes to Hong Kong with him later because she's super annoying about it. And she starts making origami, which isn't even a Chinese thing.
Yeah, you're right. It would have made way more sense if she said she didn't think she could go with him. And
then she did it later.
She goes,
I think it's just, it has to be like an episode later she does this, or maybe like the beginning of next season. It can't be that long.
Yeah.
Because Jason didn't have that long a run. Anyway, they have the wiccaning despite Wyatt's penis. The end. They did put him in a dress, though. They're like,
fine, we'll put him in a dress, though.
And all of the extras playing ghosts stand there awkwardly.
Oh, yeah. They're like on the green screens, like,
They're standing there in like old outfits,
stiff.
like, ah.
They might as well be T-posing.
Well, that's the end of the episode. What are your final thoughts on necromancing the stone? Pretty good, huh?
Terrible. It's good for Piper, I guess. A good episode for Piper, so that's nice.
They got to make everyone else like they're spitting acid to make Piper look good in comparison.
Yeah, it's horrible for Paige. One of her worst, especially this early on.
Yeah, it's pretty bad for earlier Paige.
Yeah, because usually she's the best one at this point, but horrible. Just is a jerk ass to Daryl. And Grams is a moron.
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, this was like at least amusingly bad. I mean, everyone's terrible, but it's to a comical degree. Like, it's like, how does no one realize they come off like the worst people in the universe? And I guess that's sort of part of Grandma Ghost's plot, that she's terrible and learns a lesson, but she doesn't. So it's Charm made it dumb.
Yeah. Can't
And other
believe,
charm-
like, when you realize it was a truth spell that made her forget this. It makes perfect
pretty
sense.
good.
It's so stupid. They're so dumb.
I like too that other charmed fans hate this episode, so it's like 4-1. So anyway, Phelan, do you got a Margoyle or a Carman for this episode?
Oh, it'll be a big shock. My Margoyle is Grams.
Grandma Ghost!
How could it not be?
The biggest Margoyle of all. Skreek is pretty Margoyle-ish too.
Well, my Carman honorable mention goes to Piper, but I'm giving it to Skreek for being stupid Skreek.
Why is he the Carman?
Because he's Skreek. You also shot Piper into a wall, and that's pretty good. I also like his little legend of Skreek adventures he has catching fairies and moths. He's very stupid, but amusingly so.
Carman's gonna lose all its meaning. Skreek the Carman.
He's the most Margoyle Carman.
You've besmirched the Carman title. I'm giving it to Piper. It's less funny than Skreek, but I think this may be the only time Piper's gonna get a Carman, so I'll give it to her.
I think I've given her one before.
Yeah, maybe. People in the audience, remind us, did Piper get a Carman? Is anyone keeping track of this? She did call out Grandma Ghost, and it was pretty satisfying, so...
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's the end of the podcast. Well, the episode, not the podcast in totality. It'd be pretty funny if we just threw that at the end, wouldn't it? Like, we're done.
We forgot we weren't ending the podcast because of the truth spell. So it's over.
It's over. Listen, I'm in the middle of editing the Charmed Reboot Season 2 video, and I'm about ready to rage quit again. So. Anyway, that's the end of the episode. If you enjoyed this podcast, we'd appreciate it if you liked, subscribed, left a review wherever you're enjoying this podcast on. You can enjoy us in audio form wherever podcasts are enjoyed. You can also catch us on YouTube at youtube.com/movie nights the series and youtube.com/Phelan. You can also support us on Patreon. Get episodes ahead of time or vote on which Charmed episodes we're going to talk about on Charmed Rewind. You can find me at patreon.com/movie nights and Phelan at patreon.com/Phelan. Thanks to Peter Hunter for editing the podcast for us and for doing the amazing theme song. You can find him at Pretor Hunter on most socials. You can also find him on YouTube under @Pretor Hunter. He does cool Let's Plays. They're pretty funny. What hashtag should we use, Phelan?
Hashtag saved by the Skreek.
Hashtag ghost testicles. You think that's a big hashtag?
Yeah. So many people. What? What's this doing under here?
Hashtag Grandma Ghost Haterade. All right, that's it. We'll see you Charmanders next time. Happy New Year!